ask Barbara Boxer what a theocracy was, she'd ask you if they permit abortions and if there's any way to make a buck off a theocracy. If you ask Dianne Feinstein what a theocracy was, she'd say, do they have shopping carts in this theocracy land that you're mentioning? Theocracy is a nation that is ruled by a religious party. It's antithetical to the American republic. We are not a theocracy. We are a putative democracy, but we're not a theocracy. A theocracy is a religious state. And so I will now begin by reading my brilliant editorial, Making the World Safe for Theocracy, which of course is a takeoff on Making the World Safe for Democracy. Making the World Safe for Theocracy, says Michael Savage, it begins like this. Theocratic Iran continues to challenge Western democracies, I write. Missiles designed to do in 6 minutes what Hitler did in 6 years to 6 million Jews were test-fired by this radical Islamic theocracy. The Hitler of Iran has threatened to kill every Jewish person in Israel, even if it costs Iran 50% of its population. Iran has imprisoned British sailors, sent a fleet of rubber boats against gigantic U.S. warships. But where is a strong statement from our president? Where is the bold warning against an enemy who has threatened us and our allies again and again? Nowhere. Silence and weak words are all that have come out of the White House in the West. Now, this is not the first time a nation led by a despot built up its military in defiance of the international community. In the 1930s, I will remind you, Adolf Hitler cast aside the restrictions on the size of his military imposed on Germany after World War I and created the Wehrmacht and the Luftwaffe. Now the Hitler of Iran is launching missiles, flaunting his nation's nuclear technology, and threatening to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Israel may act against Iran, but with the corrupt weakling Olmert in power, even this most basic act of self-preservation is in doubt. Bush refuses to act. All he does is rattle the sabers of the Fifth Fleet. And why won't Bush act to save Western democracies from this madman? One, he doesn't want to rock the boat because of his ties to the Seven Sister Oil Companies. And two, because he's writing his legacy. Bush wants liberal journalists and historians to write books about what a great statesman and peacemaker he really was. And so, to fuel his own vanity, he lets the cancer of Iran metastasize and spread throughout the world. If Bush were to unleash the military might of the United States on this petty dictator and seize control of the Iranian oil fields, we could regain control of the Middle East, boost John McCain's poll numbers, greatly reduce oil prices, and save Israel from a second Holocaust. Instead, Bush has decided to make the world safe for theocracy. And that's something everyone but the far-left Democrats understand we have to fight. I'm Michael Savage, and I approve of my monologue. Israel is the canary in the coal mine. As goes Israel, so goes Western democracies in general. If we let the Hitler of Iran attack Israel, and he should succeed in overrunning Israel, which is unlikely, but it could happen. If that would have happened, do you think he would stop at the Mediterranean? No, he would not stop at the Mediterranean. He's gotten away with every one of his defiant acts to date. This would be his biggest victory. He would then take over, I would suspect, Saudi Arabia. He'd overrun Iraq. He would create a greater Persia in his own mind. He would then go for Europe, Southern Europe. They would probably capitulate without firing a shot, given that they live in their own world of the Maginot Lines of their mind. Europe would fall next. Eventually, we, just as in World War II, would be facing off against this theocracy ruled by the madman of Iran. So when you say, I don't care about Israel, understand there are ramifications to where this goes.